She was supposed to be treating Pasco inmates for serious illnesses. A nurse at a local jail is accused of exposing them to potentially deadly viruses. Attorneys for the inmates have announced a class action lawsuit, and Fox 13's Aaron Mesmer has the allegations.
This is an absolute nightmare that shocks the conscience.
That's how attorneys for 5 Pasco County inmates describe a situation inside the jail that they say could have exposed their clients to deadly diseases.
This was a complete lack of care for some of the most vulnerable members of our society who were in Pasco County's custody.
During a news conference announcing a class action lawsuit, the inmates' lawyers said their claims center around one nurse who they say would reuse syringes while treating diabetic inmates.
Diabetics who rely on insulin to survive shouldn't have to fear that the medicine they take to save their lives might be ending it.
The lawsuit was filed against WellPath, a medical company contracted by the sheriff's office to work in the jail. According to court documents, the nurse would inject an inmate with insulin. If that person needed more, she would then use that same needle to draw up the insulin from a new multi-dose vial. We're told she would then turn around and use insulin from that same potentially contaminated vial in a new patient. Attorneys say this was done with an HIV positive patient, meaning the virus could have been spread to other inmates.
Dirty needles, dirty vials, every single day. It's unbelievable.
The plaintiffs go on to accuse WellPath of failing to notify the inmates who may have been exposed. Instead, they say the company began testing some, but not all of the inmates for bloodborne illnesses, even treating them with HIV preventative medications without indicating why.
Whether someone is in custody or not, they are entitled to adequate medical care.
In a statement, the Pasco Sheriff's Office told Fox 13 in part, the Pasco Sheriff's Office is aware of this complaint and immediately began working with WellPath. It is our understanding that WellPath took immediate corrective action. At this point, no adverse reactions have been reported by any affected individuals. We're taking the reported complaint very seriously and will continue to work with WellPath regarding investigation of this matter. Aaron Mesmer, Fox 13 News.
WellPath did not respond to a request for comment. The inmates' attorneys want the company to cover all the costs for tests and treatments the inmates will need. They're also urging any current or released Pasco inmates who received medical injections while in jail during the past year to get tested for bloodborne illnesses.